Aloha! Welcome back to Cancer Cure Bus. This is Sam Taylor filming from the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii. This is episode 23, The Paradigm Shift. And what I want to share with you off the top here is a video clip that I ran across. I found very interesting. It's from President Nixon's 1971 State of the Union address, where he talks about the issue of cancer. Let's take a look.
I will also ask for an appropriation of an extra $100 million to launch an intensive campaign to find a cure for cancer, and I will ask later for whatever additional funds can effectively be used. The time has come in America when the same kind of concentrated effort that split the atom and took man to the moon should be turned toward conquering this dread disease. Let us make a total national commitment to achieve this goal. America has long been the wealthiest nation in the world. Now it is time we became the healthiest nation in the world.
All right, so as you can see, in 1971, State of the Union address, President Nixon declared war on cancer, committed to invest a significant amount of money and as much as it took to find a cure for cancer. That was 1971, 46 years ago. So how are we doing in the war on cancer? Let's look at the facts. Back in the 1970s, roughly 10% of Americans were being diagnosed with cancer, around 10%. That percentage today, around 40% of men and women in the United States will get cancer sometime in their lifetime. 40% of men and women will get cancer sometime in their lifetime. Every year, over 8 million people worldwide die from cancer. And that number is expected to increase by 60% to 13 million people worldwide each year over the next 13 years. And every year, 14 million people are diagnosed with cancer. We have not been winning the war against cancer that was declared 46 years ago. And now it's time. The good news is, in the recent few years, there's been actually some significant strides and progress is being made. But we still have a long way to go. But in today's day and age, with the technology we have today, with the resources we have, now is the time for us to find a cure for cancer. And that is what Cancer Cure Bus is all about. Finding a cure for cancer, offering hope and inspiration for cancer warriors everywhere. There are far too many of us. Yesterday we heard the sad news that Arizona Senator John McCain has joined us. He was diagnosed with glioblastoma brain cancer. That's the same brain tumor that I have, a glioblastoma, GBM. So Arizona Senator John McCain, unfortunately, was diagnosed with the same tumor. We are praying for him and his family. We wish him well as he joins us. But the good news is, today, it's much better, the outlook, than it was even a few years ago. There still is no cure for this type of cancer, but that's what we're fighting for, as well as all types of cancer. And we are at that point where we have the technology, the medical know-how, the resources. It is achievable, and that's what this is about. Now, the problem, I think, in the past, like I said, it's been 46 years. In the past, the approach that we've taken is a government-led approach to curing cancer. And we've seen this come up even recently in one of the most recent State of the Union addresses. President Obama, we'll show a clip here, where he talks about cancer.
Now, last year, Vice President Biden said that with a new moonshot, America can cure cancer. Last month, he worked with this Congress to give scientists at the National Institutes of Health the strongest resources that they've had in over a decade. So tonight I'm announcing a new national effort to get it done. And because he's gone to the mat for all of us on so many issues over the past 40 years, I'm putting Joe in charge of mission control. For the loved ones we've all lost, for the families that we can still save, let's make America the country that cures cancer once and for all. What do you say, Joe? Let's make it happen.
Now the challenge is, it's been a government-led approach over these years. The challenge is, a lot of times, unfortunately with government, there's red tape, bureaucracy, special interest groups, lobbyists, things that get in the way, I think, and that's why we haven't made as much progress over 46 years. What I'm proposing is a paradigm shift. Instead of a government-led approach, we take a business-led approach to curing cancer. One of my favorite business authors is Jim Collins. Many of you are probably familiar with Jim Collins. He's written many groundbreaking business books. One of his early books is a book called Built to Last. I'll come back and talk about one of the concepts in this book in an upcoming episode. But my favorite business book of all time is by Jim Collins, and it's called Good to Great. Many of you may be familiar with it. In this book, Jim Collins, who actually I was able to meet. He came to Omaha a few months ago to speak, and I went to his presentation. I got to meet him and chat with him a little bit, talk to him about Cancer Cure Bus. He was very interested. And I told him what I wanted to do was think about applying the business principles from Good to Great to the challenge of curing cancer. Because if we went to Jim Collins and said, okay, Jim, your task is to cure cancer, how would you go about doing it? I think he would take some of the principles from Good to Great. And just in a nutshell, what he did and his team, his research team did, is they looked at companies over several decades. And they identified companies that had been, for decades, kind of just average companies, mediocre, average companies in performance. And then for whatever reason, those companies had a breakout moment where their average performance, they had a breakthrough, a breakout, where all of a sudden, for decades, after average performance, they had exceptional performance where they outperformed the stock market, they outperformed their competition. So Jim and his team identified these companies and went and researched them to try to understand, is there something in common, some common themes we can identify, some common principles that these companies practiced that led to this breakout performance that they were able to sustain for long-term exceptional performance. And that's what the book Good to Great is all about. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. It can be applied to any business. I've used this at every company I've worked for. When I joined Oriental Trading Company, I had my executive team, I had them all read Good to Great before that offsite, so we could come to that strategic planning offsite and apply the principles of Good to Great to Oriental Trading Company, and that's how we began the turnaround of Oriental Trading Company 9 years ago. I've applied it at other businesses I've worked at. It works. It works for businesses. It works for organizations, nonprofit groups. It can work for your family. You can apply it to any type of organization, any type of unit, these principles. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about over the next couple of episodes, teaching you some of the key principles of Good to Great. So with that, Cancer Warriors, I want to close. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the McCain family as Senator McCain embarks on his journey. But we are here to help you. In fact, Senator McCain, if you ever see this, I would welcome the chance to talk to you and share with you what I've learned over the last 9 months in my journey. So if you want to have your people get in contact with me, I'm happy to share with you. I've learned a lot. And there are a lot of things I wish I knew on day one of being diagnosed that I know now. But we wish you well. We'll be praying for you, along with all the other cancer warriors out there and their families. So Cancer Warriors, the message remains the same. Keep your faith. Stay strong. You will find peace, and you will emerge victorious. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.